Hey there, people! So today I am bringing you another big one, the Pickaxe and Drill Guide. This was requested a couple times recently, so we're kind of on a roll, so let's just get it done. So pickaxes come in various power tiers. Pickaxe power is the rating. It affects what blocks you can harvest and as well as how many hits it takes per block to actually mine a given block or ore or whatever. So there are just a few special pickaxes and drills that will also function as an actual axe to cut down trees like this one. But most of them are just pickaxes. I will tell you specifically about the ones that can cut down trees and such as well. These ones, though, the special ones, along with actual drills, because of course there are pickaxes and drills. Mostly you'll have pickaxes in pre-hard mode and things that are drills and also pickaxes or drills that also function as axes will mostly be available in hard mode only. The only exception to that is if you're playing on mobile or 3DS, the Drax, which I actually have one of those there, can be found in shadow chests in pre-hard mode. That's the only platform where you can get that earlier. So that actually skips all the way to the second highest tier in the game, the Drax. I'm pretty sure when the mobile update comes, they're probably going to change that because that kind of breaks the game in some ways. I don't think that was intended by Relogic. That was probably the other developers. Anyway, so also worth noting that if you are playing on mobile, it does not have range penalties or bonuses. The default copper pickaxe that you get at the start of the game actually has a -1 range penalty. So penalties and bonuses for range do not apply on mobile as well, but all other platforms, those do exist. So anyway, I am going to break things down into 9 tiers by that pickaxe power rating. Most of these are available on all platforms, pickaxes and drills for the most part. Most of them are available on all platforms. I'll tell you when they're not, and I will also tell you about which ones have range penalties or bonuses, which ones can also function as an axe, and so on. So it's worth noting as well, though, I mentioned that this Drax can basically skip to the second highest tier in the game, but even on non-mobile platforms, you can skip a few of the early tiers. You can basically effectively skip from the first tier, which is the copper pickaxe as a member of that, all the way to the 4th or 5th tier fairly easily, and I'll get to that when I get to those tiers. So first of all, oh, and I want to mention too, I'm breaking it down into 9 tiers. You can argue anywhere between 8 and 10 tiers, and that's valid. I'll tell you about the ones that sort of classify as mini tiers along the way. So these numbers aren't like set in stone. But anyway, the first tier, you've got your copper pickaxe that you start with. These ones are anything that's less than 50 pickaxe power. So it includes the cactus. Actually, there is a cactus pickaxe. Also the early ores, copper, tin, iron, lead, and silver pickaxes. These are all materials you can find fairly readily early in the game. They can mine everything up to gold and platinum. However, they cannot mine meteorite. Again, the copper pickaxe has a -1 range penalty, so it can be worth crafting one of the other early pickaxes, and probably the easiest one early that you can get is, as I mentioned, the actual cactus pickaxe. You can actually craft that at your workbench from 15 cactus. So I'm just at my workbench here, and if I go over here, you can see there's actually a cactus pickaxe you can craft from 15 cactus. So you can just go to the desert biome and use your regular axe to cut down some cactus, and 15 of those will get you a cactus pickaxe. But, you know, it's not going to be much harder to get the ores to make one of the other ones. You'll make those at a regular iron or lead anvil. Obviously, you need to gather the materials to make an anvil to make one of those other ones as well. But once you do, you'll just need 12 of whichever type of bar, one of those ores, and also 3 or 4 wood. I don't know, some of them are 3, but others are 4. And you can make any one of those, and you'll at least get rid of that -1 range penalty. It's not necessary, but you can. So there you go. You can actually go all the way to basically the 4th tier before you really need a new pickaxe, and I'll tell you why. But there's a second, as I say, there's a couple of kind of mini tiers. So one that I am counting as a tier, but it's really a mini tier, is the tungsten and bone pickaxes. Tungsten, although it's the alternative to silver, depending on your world, which one you'll get. If you happen to get tungsten, it actually can mine meteorite. So if you make a tungsten pickaxe, or if you get the bone pickaxe, which is a 1 in 50 chance to be dropped from undead miners in the cavern layer. I don't have one of those. It's not a big deal, but it is actually superior to the other early ores. So you can make a tungsten pickaxe, and that will both remove that -1 range penalty. And as you can see, it actually does show it can mine meteorite because it has 50 pickaxe power, and they put it in a percentage. So 50% pickaxe power. And as I say, most of those early ore-based ones are going to be 12 bars plus either 3 or 4 wood. Actually, all the way up to the gold and platinum, that remains true. They're all 12 bars and either 3 or 4 wood. So tungsten pickaxe can, in fact, mine meteorite, and I'm calling that tier 2. Call it what you will. But sort of the proper tier after that, which I'm going to call the third tier, is pickaxes that have anywhere from 55 to 59 pickaxe power, and that includes the gold, platinum, and candy cane pickaxes. These are the ones that can mine demonite and crimtane. And okay, first of all, the candy cane pickaxe is a 1 out of 161 chance of being in the presence that you will receive when you are playing during the Christmas seasonal event. However, the candy cane pickaxe does not exist on 3DS. That's the only platform that doesn't have that. But anyway, this tier is the first tier that is required to mine the materials to be able to make the tier after it. From here on, this becomes pretty frequently necessary. This whole pickaxe thing is actually a major part of the progression of the game. Your ability to get better materials is dependent on what pickaxe you have. So this becomes sort of necessary. It's not actually strictly necessary to get this third tier, though, because you can get demonite or crimtane another way by fighting bosses. In fact, you'll get far more demonite or crimtane, depending on your world, from fighting the bosses instead of looking around for demonite and crimtane, which generally will take you forever. So you don't technically really need to get a gold or platinum or candy cane pickaxe. I'll show you, though. I have platinum bars here, and I do have some wood in here as well, so I'll make one. And as you can see, it's got 59%. It's actually the best of the 3, and it can mine meteorite. It's a little faster than the gold one. It can mine meteorite, but it can also mine demonite and crimtane. I'm surprised it doesn't say that in the tooltip, actually, but there you go. So just to show you, I have lined up some blocks here. So I've got just your regular stone and platinum, and your regular copper pickaxe can pick those up, no problem. However, if you try to mine this is meteorite, you'll notice you cannot do it, and that's why you need a better one. And just to demonstrate again, tungsten can in fact mine that meteorite. There you go. I don't want those there, but yeah, and then again, tungsten cannot mine. This is some demonite. Oh, that's interesting. That's not supposed to. Is the wiki wrong about that? Because I just mined demonite with a tungsten pickaxe. Interesting. I'm pretty sure the wiki said that was not supposed to work, but there you go. Your tungsten pickaxe is a pretty good one. I guess that goes to show that. Anyway, interesting. I planned this all out, and that just kind of messed it up. But here we go. This is actually some palladium, and you'll notice still can't do that with platinum or tungsten, of course. Anyway, we're going to talk about the fourth tier. This is where this is, again, kind of semi-necessary. So there's only 2 that are in this fourth tier. The Nightmare and Deathbringer pickaxes. And actually the Deathbringer is sort of in a mini tier as well, and that's why you could kind of argue 10 tiers. And by the way, as you go up in the tiers, not only can you mine like later material, but they will basically get better in terms of like how many hits it takes to mine a certain material. So if I go to my copper, it takes like 3 hits to mine stone, right? Tungsten only takes 2 hits. Platinum Actually, still takes 2 hits. But yeah, basically, as you improve your pickaxes or drills, it'll take fewer strikes to get those materials. And also, they tend to swing faster and so on. But yeah, higher pickaxe power takes less to mine the same materials as well. So we're on the 4th tier. The Deathbringer pickaxe is from Demonite. The other way around. Nightmare Pickaxe is from Demonite, and Deathbringer Pickaxe is from Crimtane. These can mine Obsidian, Hellstone, Ebonstone, Crimstone, Pearlstone, and Dungeon Brick. So it's basically assumed that at this point, you've possibly gotten into the dungeon. So basically you can mine Dungeon Brick with these as well, because you actually need to defeat a boss in order to get these ones. The Nightmare is from 12 Demonite bars and 6 Shadow Scales, which is why it requires defeating the Eater of Worlds, because you only get the Shadow Scales from the Eater of Worlds. The Deathbringer, the Crimson World equivalent, is 12 Crimtane bars and 6 Tissue Samples. The Tissue Samples come from the Brain of Cthulhu, so you need to defeat either the Eater of Worlds in a Corruption World or the Brain of Cthulhu in a Crimson World to get these. And the reason the Deathbringer is sort of a separate little mini tier is that it can actually mine that whole list of things that only these ones can mine. It actually takes 1 less hit to mine any of those, except for Obsidian. They take the same number of hits for Obsidian, but Hellstone, Ebonstone, Crimstone, Pearlstone, and Dungeon Brick, the Deathbringer in the Crimson World, will take 1 less hit for those for whatever reason. But there you go. So moving right along, the final tier of pre-hard mode, and you can sort of skip directly to this actually, because there are 2 pickaxes here. There's a Molten Pickaxe and there's a Reaver Shark. So normally you would need either a Nightmare or a Deathbringer to mine Hellstone and Obsidian to get the Molten Pickaxe. However, the Reaver Shark is also in the same tier as the Molten Pickaxe. These ones can mine Cobalt and Palladium, which are the first hard mode ores, which is why you can get these in pre-hard mode. You'll ideally want to get them in pre-hard mode so that as soon as you get into hard mode, you can mine your Cobalt and Palladium to get started right away on hard mode equipment. So the Molten Pickaxe, as I say, is 20 Hellstone bars. You would need Nightmare or Deathbringer to get those Hellstone bars. There are 3 Hellstone and 1 Obsidian each. And the Molten Pickaxe actually emits light. So I did get some Hellstone bars to make this. And I mean, there you go. Yeah, I didn't actually craft the, here you go. So, yeah, there we go. Hellstone, actually, I put that in place because I was going to craft the Nightmare Pickaxe here. So I talked about it. Let's craft it. Nightmare Pickaxe. There you go. So you notice, though, it can mine Hellstone, but it took more hits than using the actual Molten Pickaxe. So that's what I'm talking about there. Now, the Molten Pickaxe, as I said, 20 Hellstone bars, emits light, and can also light enemies on fire because it's made of molten. So that can be helpful when you're exploring as well. But you can actually skip all the way to the Reaver Shark, because the Reaver Shark is actually technically available any time from when you start the game. It is obtained by fishing in the ocean. If you can increase your fishing power, you'll have a much better chance of getting it. If you only have 50 fishing power, then it's going to be like a 1 in 100 chance, whereas if you have 100 fishing power, it's a 1 in 50 chance. So the higher you can get your fishing power, the better chance you have of getting that. And of course, that's your bait, your fishing rod, your gear, and so on. I have a guide on fishing. Anyway, the Reaver Shark is actually the best pre-hard mode pickaxe available on all platforms, and it can be obtained very early because you can just boost your fishing and go fish in the ocean, and you can get it that way. It's very helpful to do this if you're playing an expert, because you can actually get Hellstone level equipment very early in the game by getting this Reaver Shark. It's also usable as a melee weapon. As you can see, it actually has pretty decent melee damage. So it's also, you know, you can use it in place of a sword early on, even if you want to. And yeah, if you want to do fishing, you know, fishing is actually a way to progress through the game. And by doing the fishing quest, you can get, you know, things that will also boost your fishing power, which give you a better chance of getting that as well. So That's all for pre-hard mode, and that is actually the best one in pre-hard mode. And there you go. So now we're getting into hard mode. So the 6th tier I'm going to talk about, and these are ones, by the way, that 5th tier is 100 pickaxe power for the Molten Pickaxe and the Reaver Shark. You can see here, they both have the same 100 pickaxe power. When you get into the 6th tier, once you're in hard mode, those are from 110 to 130 pickaxe power, and these are your Cobalt and Palladium pickaxes and drills. These are the first drills that you can get as well. You can choose literally either a pickaxe or a drill. It kind of doesn't really matter that much. You can get boosts for pickaxes, whereas you can't for drills. But, you know, drills are fun just because they're something new too. So anyway, most ore-based hard mode pickaxes and drills will require either 15 or 18 bars of the respective type. These can be crafted, this tier can be crafted at a regular iron or lead anvil. The only one that can, after you get Cobalt or Palladium pickaxe or drill, you'll need to be mining some Mythril and Orichalcum so that you can make a new anvil, which you will need to craft any of the later tier drills. So again, this is about progression. So I can either make a Cobalt drill or a Cobalt pickaxe because I put 15 bars in my inventory. So I'm going to make a drill, and we'll show you that. And there's my Cobalt drill, and here's some, actually Cobalt. I could have mined that with those ones. But anyway, yeah. So it's not meant to mine itself. The Molten or Reaver Shark can mine that Cobalt, but it is what you will need to mine Mythril or Orichalcum. So there you go. I have a little Orichalcum brick there, and I'm able to mine that with the Cobalt drill as with the pickaxe or the Palladium versions of those. The Palladium versions will actually require 18 bars, so that's why I say most of them are either 15 or 18. Cobalt is 15 and Palladium is 18 for whatever reason. That's just how it works. So moving along, the 7th tier, which are from 150 to 190 pickaxe power, are the Mythril, Orichalcum, Adamantite, and Titanium pickaxes and drills. Again, you will need your Mythril or Orichalcum anvil to craft these. The Adamantite and Titanium tools actually do not mine anything new compared to the Mythril and Orichalcum ones. They just do more damage and are faster at mining. They just have a higher speed. It's not even less hits, it's just more speed. So you can make any of these at the Mythril or Orichalcum anvil. Most of them, again, 15 to 18 bars. Titanium is the exception, which is why I have 20 titanium bars. For whatever reason, titanium requires 20, but if you have adamantite in your world, then you only need, I think it's 18. So there you go, and titanium can then mine, well, actually not just adamantite, but also, actually no, yeah, right, they can only mine adamantite and titanium. So even if I have adamantite or titanium, you can still only mine adamantite or titanium. You can mine those as well with the Mythril or Orichalcum, and that's why they're in the same tier. Anyway, so next tier, actually the 8th tier, and this is where progression comes in again. Pickaxe, axe, Drax, Chlorophyte pickaxe, and drill. Those Chlorophyte has both. Shroomite digging claw and Specter Pickaxe. These are all at the same 8th tier. All have the same 200 pickaxe power, actually, and you need 200 pickaxe power to mine this Chlorophyte right here. So the first way that you'll be able to get one of these is, again, unless you're on mobile and you were able to skip to this tier just by finding a Drax in a shadow chest. I didn't find this one, I had to craft it. So the Drax or the pickaxe axe, you can craft either of those from 18 hallowed bars and one of each of the souls from the 3 mechanical bosses. So that's why, again, progression, you will need to defeat all 3 mechanical bosses, the twins, the destroyer, and Skeletron Prime, and you will need at least one of the souls from each of them. They will each drop a different type of soul, so you'll need 1 soul of might, 1 soul of sight, and 1 soul of fright, along with your 18 hallowed bars, which they also drop, in order to craft your pickaxe, axe, or drill. Once you have that, you can mine Chlorophyte, and you can also make a Chlorophyte pickaxe or axe, or a pickaxe or drill, sorry. And that will require 18 chlorophyte bars. The only advantage of the chlorophyte is that either the pickaxe or the drill, they both have a +1 range bonus. So there you go. Also, a little bit later on, you can make a Specter Pickaxe, which I happen to have here as well. And that has a +3 range bonus, which is pretty big. It's 18 Spectre bars if you're on an updated platform 1.3 plus. If you're on a pre 1.3 equivalent platform, you'll need the 18 chlorophyte bars and 18 ectoplasm in place of you actually combine the same things into Spectre bars if you're on 1.3 onward. So, and yeah, that gives you a +3 range bonus, so that's very useful. But there's also another one, which is the Shroomite Digging Claw, which is very famous because it is actually the fastest mining speed in the game. It requires 18 Shroomite bars. Has very high damage, actually, for a pickaxe, drill, etc. But it's -1 range. Well, it's not like very, very high, but because it's so fast and it has pretty high damage, it's actually quite usable as a melee weapon just because it's so fast. Shroomite Digging Claw, unfortunately, is also not available on 3DS. Only exception, all the other platforms do have the Shroomite Digging Claw. I'm going to go ahead and craft one of those. So to make Shroomite bars, you need chlorophyte bars and glowing mushrooms. So to make 18, you'll need 18 chlorophyte bars and 270 glowing mushrooms. You do that at your auto hammer, which I happen to have here right next door. So I'm going to actually show you that as well. We've got our 18 Shroomite bars, and we can make our Shroomite Digging Claw. And I'll just pop that into the number 8 slot there in place. And just to show you, it's very fast. And if I turn on Smart Cursor, it's actually possible to mine as fast as you fall if you get the right bonuses and everything. So yeah, there you go. And that basically does it for the 8th tier. Now, the only thing that is left to mine that these things cannot mine is right there. That's a lizard brick from the jungle temple. So the 9th tier are the ones that you will need to do that, and they are all post-golem. You'll need to defeat golem in order to get the 9th tier of pickaxes and drills. So these are ones that have 210 pickaxe power or more. The Picksaw is the one that you literally get from defeating golem. It's a 1 in 8 chance to drop when you defeat golem. It has a +1 range bonus, and so that's right here, +1 range. So you can, mine a little further away. And yeah, it functions as an axe as well. It's one of those. It will function both as a pickaxe and as an axe. Also, actually, I forgot to mention that the Pickaxe Axe and Drax, Pickaxe Axe, Drax, and Digging Claw from the 8th tier also all work as axes. So late in the game, you actually have a selection of pickaxe and so on drill. I guess the Drax is kind of a drill, but that's why it's called the Drax, because it's also an axe somehow. So Pickaxe Axe, Drax, Digging Claw, and this Picksaw that you get from golem, all of those will also function as an axe. However, only the Picksaw that you get from golem will be able to mine the lizard bricks. Now, there are 2 more options, well, one's sort of a set, that you can get if you're on one of the updated platforms. So again, these are the only ones actually that are only on 1.3 or equivalent updated platforms only. So currently that's PC, PS4, Xbox One. It's coming to mobile. These are the laser drill and the Luminite pickaxes, because there are 4 of them. They're all functionally equivalent. So I do have a laser drill. Laser drill is kind of neat. You get it from the Martian Madness event, which again only exists on the updated platforms. And you can see it actually has a +10 range, and you can like mine way far away with it. So it's kind of neat that way, and I actually use this a lot. You've probably seen it in my videos. I hold on to this quite a lot because I just like that extra range, and I kind of like you can hold it out, and you can even use it as a weapon because that drill tip will kill people. It's not that high damage, but it's useful just because of the range, and it looks cool. So you get that from the Martian Saucer during the Martian Madness event. It's a 1 in 9 chance for that to drop when you kill a Martian Saucer. And it also works as an axe, actually. So there you go. And then the last but not least is the Luminite Pickaxes. These, of course, require you to defeat the Moon Lord, because, of course, that's where you get your Luminite from. And they have a +4 range bonus. So other than the Laser Drill, which has +10, the Luminite Pickaxes have the next largest reach, +4 range, but they are faster than the Laser Drill. So that's the advantage of them. So they are 10 Luminite bars and 12 of whichever type of fragment from the Celestial Pillars. So there are 4 types of fragments. There's the Solar, the Vortex, the Nebula, and the Stardust. So I've picked out some 40 Luminite ore, which I'm going to turn into 10 bars, and 12 solar fragments. I'm going to make the solar one. So we're going to craft those Luminite bars, 10 bars, 12 solar fragments, and you do all this at your Ancient Manipulator. And then you can make your Solar Flare Pickaxe, or you know, the other ones for the other types of fragments, from your 12 fragments and your 10 bars. And bam! Last one you can get in the game. Last set of them you can get in the game. And as you can see, they're very fast as well. They're not quite as fast as the Shroomite Digging Claw, but they can mine things that the Shroomite Digging Claw can't, specifically these. So you can see you're doing well if you got one of these. They're very fast. And also, you know, they just go right through, like, basic stuff. But even the lizard brick, they go through it pretty fast. So there you go. That's actually all of the pickaxes and drills that are available in the game. So I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.